Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de, that's right, the movie of Barbie, that most venerable of American dolls. And now you've got me wondering if Barbies are popular outside of the US. Focus, right, okay, yeah. I'm going to talk about Barbie, yep. Hey, Ozempic here. So now that I'm a married dude, I've learned that sometimes I just gotta do the stuff that wifey wants to do. Because, seeing her happy makes me happy, even if the things that make her happy are somewhat foreign to me. And that means that I'm pretty sure at some point this year, I will end up watching the movie Barbie. Yeah. So by no means am I knocking the movie. I mean, it's already got my money, and that's what matters in the end, right? The cha-ching! Money's what talks, and in that sense, the movie has already won. However, since I've got my forum, I'd like to rant about stuff that occupies my mind. Today, I think it's the perfect time to talk about what exactly, or why exactly, I'm a little bit apprehensive about this movie as a totality. I mean, before I met my wife, who's a huge fan of Barbies and still insists on keeping her Barbie dollhouse, or whatever that thing is, I have just never really thought much about the subject, right? Except the obvious issue of her ridiculous portions, but I hear they've been tempered down these days. I mean, seriously, who the heck looks like the original Barbie except extremely literal plastic women who's likely working in the adult entertainment industries, right? Apparently, lots of girls have a Barbie phase, as I've learned, and that's totally cool and good for the company, but we all had our dinosaur phase too, and they don't make movies about oh wait, what am I saying? Okay, got it. Gotta milk that childhood nostalgia for all it's worth. Yay, capitalism. But whatever, I'm still gonna rant about how I think a movie like this will be iffy at best, right? Not saying that it won't make money or that it can't be fun, but whether it can live up to the promise and premise of the original toy itself, right? Anyway, so if you enjoy some random rants from a dude with zero production values, clearly, like, subscribe, share, and comment, or whatever. I'll be great, regardless, because I just do these for funsies. So, my point number one is, what exactly, or who exactly is the target audience for? I mean, I know one person for sure, that's my wifey, right? But I thought this is a kid's product, or remains so, right, officially. So, at least so far, two groups, right? Ladies who grew up with the doll and current fans of the doll. I mean, is Barbie still popular? A quick cursory Google search tells me that in fact, Barbie actually still is popular. I mean, surprising, but hey, maybe not. I just don't know because I'm not a girl, right? So, can a movie be made that appeals both to children and adults who used to love the doll itself? I mean, I guess it's possible. I think the Legos movie are a reasonable approximate for what I'm thinking of. But those are animated, right? And this is a live action movie. As much as I think adults would get a kick out of their doll come to life, isn't it a bit weird to really associate a doll down to one single actual live person? I mean, in the same way that movie castings tend to solidify what most people would think a fictional character would look like, right? If it works, awesome. That's where we get our Khaleesi from, right? But when it doesn't, I mean, seriously, does anybody remember who played Mario in the live Super Mario Brothers movie? I mean, I know I don't. I know John Leguizamo played Luigi, and that was a horrible, terrible waste of a talent, but who was Mario? Who the heck cares, right? I tried to erase that casting out of my memory as soon as I saw that movie. I mean, so the lead here is Margot Robbie, right? She seems like a perfect cast for Barbie, at least in how young men see that character. But is that how girls and women see this most iconic of roles? I have no idea. I just hope that they can still picture themselves in Barbie post this live-action movie, because, dolls are projections of ourselves, aren't they? Alright, point number two. Let me be frank, right? I laughed at the most recent trailer. It looked totally kooky, as expected from a Greta Gerwig film, right? I am a fan of that lady, so I think the film will probably be a decent movie at the very least. If there wasn't this ridiculous intellectual property attached to it. That's right. If I saw this premise without the Barbie attachment to it, I'd think it is the bestest thing ever, right? But the problem with movies with an attached brand recognition attached to it is that it has somewhat of invisible walls and boundaries all around it. And to be clear, the trailer already makes several references to its plasticky foundations, right? Mainly in how Ken really has no clue as to what his responsibilities are as Barbie's constant companion. I mean, is he even her boyfriend? And if so, are all the Kens all the Barbies' boyfriends? But there are so many off Barbies and Kens in the name of inclusion, so are they all just one giant polyamorous society? Oh my god, I've gone down a toy doll rabbit hole, and none of it makes any sense. But then we're gonna make a coherent real person movie with presumably some level of pathos attached to it about dolls without, like, real human parts? What is happening? Oh lord. G.I. Joe as a premise must have been so much easier to deal with, because, you know, violence seems like much simpler to replicate on film than life as a whole. Now, my third point, biggest issue really, with simply adaptations of existing brands, either from toys or game, they've just have not worked well generally, right? I guess my personal opinion is framed mostly by video game adaptations, but I don't think, frankly, you know, a adaptation of a line of toy is that different, especially a line as expansive as Barbie, right? Compared especially with boy toys like G.I. Joe, right? In G.I. Joe, there's an overarching war theme, right? With obvious villains that are well established via the toy line. But what exactly is the focus of Barbie's line, right? I mean, I think it's just, she's just living her life, right? Living her best life, exploring literally every profession that's been considered worthy of pursuit, at least, right? Had to add that last condition because I don't ever recall Barbie who went into the profession of, say, plumber or garbage man, right? Woman, garbage person, whatever. So pretty much, basically, they only want bougie jobs, right? How can they possibly reflect that incredible diversity of choice that a doll like Barbie is supposed to represent, right? I mean, I'm sure it's possible. I'm happy to be proven wrong, of course. I mean, in the trailer, I was impressed by the variety of the pink-cladded ladies in terms of, you know, skin tones. I guess they really wanted to represent Barbies via, you know, different kind of lady varieties. So cool, diversity in skin tone down. But what about occupation, right? What about individualization that Barbie was supposed to stand for, right? How could one movie with a single narrative ever capture the infinite possibilities that children are taught to think are possible via play with their dolls? I think that's the main difference between, you know, Barbies and G.I. Joes, right? The girl doll can be generally whatever. I think she's had like hundreds of jobs, whereas the boy doll only really focuses on what I'm going to call explicit conflict resolution types, right? Isn't that a contrast? Anyway, my interest was more piqued post the second Barbie movie trailer, right? By that I just mean I'm past simply rolling my eyes at the mere idea of a Barbie movie. Now at least I know I like the director, I like Robbie, I like Gosling. They're real talents. So who knows, maybe the ensemble will save the complete lack of focus when it comes to the subject matter, right? I can only hope whatever tale they end up spinning will make some people happy. Mainly I say that because I cannot imagine any story involving Barbie that would make all of her fans happy, right? The toy just has way too much history and context already. That means lots of ladies and possibly some dudes has already made a Barbie movie in their own minds, right? And likely that won't quite be the same as whatever this one turns out to be. That's all. What do you guys think? Are you guys gonna go see it willingly? Cheers, a la Broshin.